A martial art should be the fastest possible direction, minimum amount of effort, maximum effect. And if you're not looking at those three things and you're trying to create massive movements to create power that has no relevance, because if someone's faster than you, you don't know how powerful you are. If they're faster than you and they can make effect, if they can effect decent amount of power, that's all they need.
So give me an example of a power-based system as opposed to a speed-based system.
Karate.
Why would karate be power-based?
Because that's what it's based on. They're trying to create as much energy as possible, drawing back the techniques, and trying to make it as, well, you really have to demonstrate them, but in their basics they are really forcing the techniques as far back as possible to create energy.
And what would a good example of a speed-based system be? Obviously, Lau Gar. Just
forwards, that's it. Your fist goes first, the rest of your body follows it, and if it follows it, then you've got the momentum, but you've also got the weight behind it anyway. So, or as much weight as you need.
So what you're saying essentially is that Kung Fu is a system where speed is absolute, but power is relative to each and every one of us.
Yes, yeah.
Or is that a generalisation, or?
Well, it's all generalisation, isn't it? It's only my opinion, but at the end of the day, for my belief is that everybody should be able to learn a martial art. If that martial art is limited by the fact that in order to learn it, you have to be heavy to hold someone down, to be able to throw them, or you have to be powerful to be able to, punch them, then I can't see the point in that. Or you have to be flexible to be able to kick them and do high dynamic kicks. Then I can't see how that can be taught to everybody. You can't. It's limited.
So do you teach a limited style?
You can't teach a limited style. You've got to teach it to the person who's learning it. If you teach the style, then you're going to be limited to the people who can learn it. If you teach the person, then the style becomes unlimited. It is unlimited because it works and adapts to the person, because it's about making that person faster than they are. In that sense, the velocity and the momentum that they can create from the way they throw the technique is how they will create their own amount of power. Okay, so a very small young girl throwing a lot of energy isn't going to create as much power as a huge guy. But the objective is for her to be able to be first, to be fast. And how much power does she need to blind him? How much power does she need to, make him very uncomfortable so that she can escape? That's what it's about, really. It's about trying to create firepower for every individual.
So whether they're old, young, small built, big built.
Yeah. But if you limit it to teaching them the specifics, or what you believe to be the principle of the art, Lau Gar isn't like that. Kung Fu isn't like that, or shouldn't be like that. It's taught like that in many, many, many schools, because they're limited to the way the teacher teaches the people. And to be frank with you, a lot of teachers, they just want to be teachers. They don't want to teach. They just want to be the teacher. And therefore there's nothing worse than watching someone teaching and seeing them completely overlook a person making an obvious error because they're too content with the movement the person is making. They don't recognise the mistakes that they make. They can't improve them if they can't see the mistakes. They can't improve themselves if they don't see the mistakes. So the style can't improve. So you can't redesign a style. You can use a style. You can utilise the style.
So, if some people would say, I've redesigned this style so it fits in with the modern age, the modern environment, or I've improved it. I've taken away what's unnecessary. For example,
what's unnecessary for them. But what about the other person? It's a completely different size to them, a different weight to them, a different attitude.
A good example would be what Bruce Lee did.
Bruce Lee had his own way, and he proved his way worked for him. And then, as he was teaching other people, he taught people in an environment, a power-based environment, karate.
You're talking about the America of the 60s.
He started teaching these people dynamic speed aspects of the Kung Fu. So he was applying, in effect, he was applying speed.
What would an example of speed be within the Kung Fu?
Well, like a back fist. He's applying technique that they wouldn't have used, that they weren't really conversant with. They were always trying to create energy, trying to create power.
But I'm sure
reverse punch, mawashi, geri, big roundhouse kicks and so on.
Karate is back fist. What was different?
What was different about that back fist is it's just pulling it back, trying to create energy. His was just bam directly. It was direct force. It was direct energy. Direct, that is, to the target.
So back to the original question then. What do you say to people who try and reinvent or say rebrand martial arts for the modern age? Are they a detriment to martial arts, or are they
using Bruce Lee as an example? When he died, everybody else was using their way. Whatever he learned, whatever he taught, at the end of the day, it only goes so far. It can only go so far. There is no big dynamic basics to it. Take a look at it today. You tell me where there are two Jeet Kune Do clubs that teach the same thing. They don't. Yeah. They just basically they're teaching kickboxing. And if you take a look at the way that Lau Gar is in the kickboxing field, in the kickboxing tournaments of the world, and you see the dynamic, energy in these guys that are fighting. And then you take a look at a video of Bruce Lee at the time, you tell me who looks more dynamic. Because although Bruce Lee was fast and every respect to him and, whatever, but it was then. I think he opened up a world, and that's for that reason we should appreciate him. He opened up a world. He let people see the way that martial arts could be. I think that, for me, is epitaph, if you like.